Hi everyone, for this example here we're going to go over the different ways you can stylize your Expo application. There are inline styles, style sheet on the same page, and external style sheets. So let's create a brand new project on our desktop. And then I'll do npx create Expo app, and I'll just say Expo styles. And I just dragged and dropped the folder over into Visual Studio Code. And now I'm just going to go to my app.js, and I'm going to modify a few different areas here. So the main areas, let me just make a new file, readme.md. So we're going to look at Expo styles. So the different types are, first one, inline styles. Second, style sheet on same page, and external style sheet. So we're going to look at each of these individual types here in this video. So let's take a look at inline styles first. So I'm just going to run this application actually, because then we can actually see as we progress through the completion of our app how it will look. I'm just opening Android Studio right now, so then I could show you a preview of our application. Alright, so we got our mobile application right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to run this app here, going to our terminal, npx expo start. So I'm just going to hit the letter A on my keyboard for Android. Okay, there we go. We can see that we have our text on our virtual mobile, and you can see it says open app.js to start working on your app, and says the same thing right here. So we know we are connected. And let's take a look first at inline styles. So inline styles are something like this. If I put another tag here, so I'm going to use text tag, which is just like kind of like a paragraph tag, and I'm just going to say welcome. So right now it says welcome, but I want to add some inline stylization so I could make it look a little bit more prettier. So I'll do style is equal to, and then I'm using two curly brace bracket like this. And then now in between here, I'm going to add the styles just like regular CSS right here, but this time we are using camel case for these key values. So if I do font size, it has to be camel case, and I'll just put 30. You don't need to put the pixels at the end, you just put the number. And you can see here on our mobile app, we can now see the larger text for welcome. It's a blue color. So this is how you do inline stylization, is when it's actually in the same line as whatever you are working with. So let's take a look now at the next one. So we are going to look at style sheet on the same page. So actually we do have a really good example that's already pretty much done. Is it has this view style, and right over here, whenever we are using these style sheets, for example these style sheets right here, we do have to import it at the top as well in React Native. So for example, we're using style sheet, so I have to always import this, and then here we're using some sort of text tag, view tag, which is pretty much like a div containing everything. So we always have to define everything at the top of whatever we are using. And we are using the style sheet, so this is why we can use style is equal to, and then we are going to call it styles dot container because it contains all the stuff. And then here, this styles is going to match right here in the style sheet down below. So we set up a const styles. And then here we got stylesheet.create. So it's just another built-in method that's helping us create the styles that we want. And then here, the container now, because we did styles.container, just like right here, styles.container, that means inside our styles, we're going to look for a container, and it's using flex. So flex is going to be very important if you want to have certain layouts on the screen. And we're just pretty much aligning them. We're pretty much aligning the text to the center. Let's add a little bit more stuff to this. So let's say that I want to add another, another view. So I'm going to get rid of this text right here. And I'm just going to put, so capital letter for the first letter of the tag. So capital V for view. And I'm going to have two text tags in here as well. So this main view here, I'm going to add a style. And I'm going to call it question container. I'll just say, how are you? How many hours did you study? Something like that. And then what I'm going to do is inside this view, I'm going to add some styles as well. But before I do that, I'll first set up this styles.question container. Because we're using the same naming convention here, styles, we have to add some sort of other variable that we can separate the styles. So I called it question container, and we're going to take this and go to the bottom here, and under container, we're going to add another area, question container, and then the two dots, curly brace. And then here, this is where we can actually add some styles. So I'll say background color, hashtag ADD 8E6. And I forgot the colon here. There we go. So our error disappeared. So you can see here we got background color. It's in camel case, the colon. And then in quotations, I have to put this in quotations, whatever color I want to use. Save it. There we go. You can see we got that nice blue background for this app. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little more styles to each individual text here. So let's say for this first text here, we are going to add style is equal to. So what I want to do is I want to add multiple styles to one specific area. So in order to add multiple styles, we actually have to put the square bracket inside here. And then we are going to say styles dot, let's call it individual question text 1 styles dot common style. So you're going to have better naming conventions, of course, but I'm just going to use the basic naming conventions for right now. So individual question text 1 common style. And then what I could do is I could just take this and I'm going to add it to the text as well down below. But I'm just going to call this text 2. So what we're going to see here is each of these texts right here have multiple styles that we are calling. But then the only difference is that this one is using text 1 and this one is using text 2. So each text will have slight different variations, but we have here common style as well. So if there's some sort of common stylization that we could add to multiple areas, we could just put it in one styles. And then what we're going to do is we are going to now add the code down below. So let's do this individual question text 1 and text 2. So let's separate the different text. Individual question text 2. I'll make this a different font size of 75. So the first one is going to be font size of 50. Second one is going to be a font size of 75. So we should see a clear difference in the font size. There you go. So you can see how RU is smaller than how many hours did you study. Because right here, we added styles for the different type of styles. So text 1 is different from text 2. But here, we're going to add the common styles now. And we're going to make sure this style is applied to both of these text values. So let's go down here, comma, and then common styles. There you go, common styles, and we're going to just add a color. Hashtag FE7D6A. Save it. Perfect. And you can see now that both of these different text containers are essentially having the same color font because we added this common style to both this text right here, and also this text right there. So they're going to be the exact same color, but the only thing that's being different, or that's differentiating them, the only thing that's differentiating these texts is this styles right here, text 1 and text 2. They're giving different font sizes. So this is the example on the style sheets on the same page. Let's take a look now how we can add the external style sheet. So in order for us to get started on the external style sheet, we could add a folder here at the root of our project, and we're going to call it styles. And then inside here, I'll just make a new file, home.js. And we need to set up this page right here. We're going to say import style sheet, because we are going to use style sheet here on this page as well from React Native. And then const, we're going to define some sort of variable. I'll say home external styles, and I'll put style sheet dot create. Rounded bracket, then curly brace. Okay, so we have this home external styles. In camel case, we're going to be using the style sheets. So style sheet, we imported at the top, and we're using this method here, create, to help us create the styles. And I'm going to call this box. And let's just add some styles here. Width 80%, 80%. Height 150. So right over here you can see that if we're adding some sort of like percentage or something at the end, we have to add quotations around everything. But for the height, it already automatically knows it's in pixels, so we don't need to add quotations, we just add the number directly. And then I'm going to add a background color of, let's say, blue. Align self, center, border radius 9. There we go. Gonna save that. And we got our style for this box. What we're going to do though is we have to export this so we can move it to the other page that we want to use it. So export home external styles. And this has to be around curly brace right here. Curly brace. There we go. So we're calling this home external styles, and we need to export it so then it can move away from this page and to another page. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to go to app.js. And then right over here in the app.js, I need to import this at the top of the page. So I need to import home external styles, and then it says from /styles home, because / means stay at the current directory, so we're at the root with the app.js, and then we're going to go into styles folder, and then we're going to go to home, which has our styles. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add some other view here, so let's put a view underneath, view, and we're not going to add anything in between it. I'm just going to put style is equal to, and then the single curly brace, and then home external styles. And then let's see what happens when I save this page. Save. Might need to refresh the app because we did add new files and folders. So I'm going to press the letter R on my keyboard so I could refresh the virtual mobile application. Okay, so I see what we missed is we just need to add, after external styles, we need to do right here, because we can't just call home external styles, we need to actually call the individual style itself. So we need to put box. So then we're going to put dot box. Save. There we go. Now we got our blue box there. So those are the 3 different examples on how you can stylize based on inline styles, style sheet on the same page, and external style sheet.